Hi, New Cov. This is my last devotional, as we're just a few days from Easter Sunday. I hope you've enjoyed going through these passages during Lent. I get the privilege today of talking about a very powerful passage, John 13, verses 1 through 17, and verses 31 to 35. This passage has always moved me for a couple of reasons. First, it's a paradigm shift for the disciples, and second, it's an intimate moment that shows just how much Jesus loves us. So let's think first about the relationship dynamic between Jesus and his disciples. These disciples are presumably much younger than Jesus. They're nothing special in many cases, but Jesus handpicked them to disciple and teach them. Everything I've read on this tells me that this is an enormous honor. Imagine following Jesus from city to town, seeing him perform unimaginable miracles of healing, or seeing him debate and put to shame teachers of the law. Imagine being told the meaning behind parables, taught with the authority of a man who has the very mind of God. Now imagine your mentor, your teacher, this man who you are beginning to believe might just be God in the flesh. Imagine him taking off his outer robe, wrapping a servant's towel around his waist. Imagine him getting down on his knees in the dirt and grime. Imagine him taking your feet and washing them, wiping them clean. How uncomfortable this must have made the disciples. I wonder if they looked around to make sure that no one could see Jesus degrading himself in this way. Peter's reaction is perfect, isn't it? "No, you shall never wash my feet," he says. He's saying, "Jesus, this is not your place. You are my Lord and my King, my Rabbi." Jesus doesn't rebuke Peter here, but he does tell him that this is important. Jesus, wearing this servant's towel, which some commentators say is all that would cover a criminal who was being crucified on a cross, by the way. Jesus reminds Peter that he is still teaching. He's still the teacher. He says, "Do you understand what I've done for you? Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet." And later Jesus says in this passage, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another." About 16 years ago, my brother and I were invited to serve at a Young Life middle school camp as program directors. This meant we got to pick out songs, acted as crazy characters for club meetings and dinner entertainment, and generally just had fun with the kids. It was a blast, not just because it was a fun serving opportunity, but because we met and worked with some incredible people. Over a month of ups and downs, joys and frustrations, you get pretty close with each other. On one of the last nights of our tenure there, we spent some time with the rest of the camp staff, and one of the leaders read through this very passage. Then we all took turns with a towel, kneeling down, pouring water over one another's feet, washing and drying them. And I'll openly admit it was an uncomfortable moment. Letting someone else wash your feet means being vulnerable. But it helped me understand this scene between Jesus and his disciples. Washing someone else's feet reminded me that Jesus came to serve. And letting someone wash my feet reminded me how much I need Jesus. Verse 17 says, "Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." May God give us eyes to see his love for us and humility to serve in the way that he did.